This is Sean Ryan,
And I'm Rocio Martin.
and this is our final project for business law and jurisdiction. We'll be discussing the idea of jurisdictional analysis.
I will start talking about the concept of jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is the power of courts to make decisions and judgments regarding law. It is a useful tool for maintaining fairness and order in society. Different factors in cases might arise the question of which court can impose the law. We will take into account the location and subject matter of each case.
There are three requirements for jurisdictional analysis. The first is personal jurisdiction, which will give the court power over a party. This can be either a person, which will be in personam jurisdiction, or over a property, which will be in rem jurisdiction. Next, we have subject matter jurisdiction, which says if a court has the power to hear a case. Each case will fall under original or appellate courts, general unlimited or special limited jurisdiction, or federal or state courts. Last but not least, we have territorial or venue jurisdiction, which deals with where a case will be heard. Now, let's get into further detail for each of these three requirements.
As Sean previously mentioned, personal jurisdiction is the ability to obtain power over a party, person, or entity. In personam jurisdiction is the jurisdiction a court has over a person. This gives courts the power of making a binding decision. To determine this, one of two factors must be present. The first one we will look for is physical presence, which is self-explanatory. If a person is in New Jersey, the courts of New Jersey will have jurisdiction over them. However, if there is no physical presence, minimum contacts come into play. Minimum contacts determine whether or not the defendant had the requisite or enough minimum contact to anticipate being hauled into a court in a foreign state. On the other hand, we have in rem jurisdiction, which is the power to decide issues relating to any property situated within its geographical borders.
Subject matter jurisdiction is the requirement that a court has for the power to hear each individual claim. We will first discuss the difference between original and appellate jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction is the first court a case will be taken for settlement. However, either party can request to take the case to appellate court if they feel the decision was unjust. Therefore, appellate jurisdiction is the power to appeal from another court. Next, we will cover general versus limited jurisdiction. General jurisdiction will cover a broader range of issues, appealing to courts within the criminal and civil division. However, for smaller issues, there is limited jurisdiction, where courts like municipal or civil special part will come into play. Lastly, we will discuss whether we are going to federal or state court. Two types of cases will go into federal court. Whether the case is concerning rights like discrimination or diversity cases, which will have two parties from separate states and an amount over $75,000. If none of these are pertinent, the case will remain in state court.
After determining whether the case was state or federal, we will consider territorial jurisdiction, which also goes by venue. This jurisdiction is concerned with the most suitable location for the trial to take place. This will usually be the location where the legal dispute arose. Now we will cover an example of the process of determining where jurisdiction will fall. Let's say Tom lives in Kentucky and he's visiting New Jersey and his car gets stolen by Jeff, which is a New Jersey native. So Sean, which court do you think will have personal jurisdiction in this case?
The first thing I'm going to look at in this case is which court has personal jurisdiction over the defendant and not the plaintiff, because the plaintiff is agreeing to give the court jurisdiction.
So, is this going to be in personam or in rem jurisdiction?
The right way to look at this case will be in personam, because Jeff, who is the defendant, is a person.
Oh, okay, but is there physical presence or do we need to look for minimum contacts?
Because the crime occurred in New Jersey, The state of New Jersey has jurisdiction over Jeff due to physical presence. This means we do not need to look into minimum contacts.
My last question for you is this case going federal or state court?
This is not federal question case or a diversity case. If we say federal, we are saying no state has jurisdiction over the case. This is not the situation after all this analysis, so we can conclude New Jersey will have jurisdiction over Jeff.